What happens when 40 tons of logs start to slide? What happens when a tree goes the wrong way? Welcome to SteelForce Channel, where we find out.
This was the scene all over Carmi, Illinois. Many trees uprooted.
This was the scene all over Carmi, Illinois. Many trees uprooted
Right out of the ground, many of those landing right on top of homes. Mount it!
He's literally, the only thing that'll save him is that tree next to it, because it's going to fall into it, and there it goes.
That's what you call a truly dedicated groundsman. Never underestimate a wind-blown beach. This guy proves exactly why anchoring the stump is non-negotiable. Skip the cable or proper PPE, and you're not just cutting corners, you're setting yourself up for a serious accident. Did you catch how overloaded that truck is? It's wild that a road chassis even managed to crawl out of there. That clutch has to be begging for mercy. Absolute chaos. Watching him slam the clutch like that is brutal. The Massey Ferguson 265 is getting absolutely punished, yet it just keeps pushing back against that stubborn root system, refusing to give up. Built for this exact machine class, but he's wasting time rocking the load loose. An experienced operator knows that two clean, decisive picks are faster and put far less strain on the trailer stakes. that Douglas fir was already growing long before the United States was even a nation. Just look at the bar on that chainsaw. It looks almost comical next to a 500-year-old trunk. I can only imagine how long it took to sharpen that chain. This is what it looks like when machinery is truly pushed to its limits. Building it from scratch with car tires is actually clever engineering. The stability on that pine log is impressive for a homemade setup. But honestly, the absence of proper guards makes it seriously hard to watch. Far better for the forest than taking down healthy trees. It really highlights how critical the right equipment is for this kind of work. Even with dead or older wood, precise harvesting makes sure valuable material isn't wasted during cleanup. The whole thing has a serious Quentin Tarantino vibe. Everything runs off a single machine. Instead of multiple setups, the excavator drives both the chainsaw and the splitter head. The operator swings in, grabs the trunk, and crushes it into firewood in one smooth motion. It's a perfectly tuned system working in harmony. Even watching this on a screen makes me break a sweat. You can almost feel the heat pouring off it. Taking these trees down is essential to stop embers from spreading, but it's easily one of the most dangerous tasks anyone on the ground can face.
Nice! Good job! No!
Woo!
It's basically an oversized industrial vacuum for the forest. It moves through the woods, swallowing leftover branches and logs and leaving the ground clean behind it. One powerful off-road machine doing the work of an entire cleanup crew. Look at that chainsaw hanging out in open air. How does anyone keep their nerve 35 meters up? Handling a running saw at that height takes an unreal amount of courage. Watching the front end lift like that, you half expect something to break. The operator might be enjoying it, But the mechanics back at the shop definitely won't be laughing later. Laying out trails like these in the mountains takes years of experience. You can instantly tell the difference between beginners and seasoned pros.
Take here. Now,
which is more aggravating, throwing a chain halfway through a cut on a steep slope, or watching the log you finally freed roll all the way to the bottom? Either way, at least it managed to delimb itself on the ride down. We're seeing a historic gate saw at the Mühlhausen sawmill in Germany, part of an operation that's been running for generations. It may be slower than today's bandsaws, but its old-school multi-blade design excels at slicing an entire log in a single pass. I'd be absolutely terrified to drive that. One hard bump on that dirt road and the entire 30-ton load could shift. This is the complete opposite of doing it safely. A crane would take 20 minutes. This takes 20 seconds and a whole lot of luck. If you're not comfortable with tree felling, a chainsaw is absolutely not something you should be experimenting with.
Achtung, Baum fällt! Scheiße.
Those trucks are probably questioning every life choice that led them there. That's the wrong equipment for pulling trees, and he's positioned himself in just about the most dangerous place possible. Forget land clearing. This machine straight up erases the forest. It's like feeding a 20-foot wooden pencil into a 450 horsepower sharpener. Watching that geyser of sawdust is insanely satisfying. Still makes you wonder though, what happens to all those stumps afterward? This has to be some kind of modern art piece, right? It looks like they built the car around the tree. There's no other explanation that makes sense. This is a textbook case of a badly shifted center of gravity. Too much weight on the rear axles, and the steering tires come completely off the ground. Edge of a cliff, barely any room to work with, a massive rig, and somehow he still makes the turn. The driver handled it like a pro, but my heart was in my throat the entire time. It all begins with an overload that causes the roadbed to give way. The rear wheels sink in, the front axle goes light, and traction disappears. I'm not sure I'd call it effective, but that cable setup is clearly dangerous. Those guys are standing way too close, right in the snapback zone if it fails. Have you seen this kind of hydraulic wedge in use before? It definitely looks a lot safer than driving wedges in by hand with a hammer. Curious what you think about it. The operator has to be loving this moment. Nothing beats putting a brand new $70,000 plus machine to work for the first time. This 7015 TRX stump grinder looks like the 74 horsepower version, perfectly balanced. Powerful enough for serious grinding, yet compact enough to handle tight backyard jobs with ease. Look at that form, straight through the log with clean, precise plunge cuts. That kind of pace and control only comes from a seasoned professional. They're known as the Wagner L120, designed to grab a full stack in one go. It's moving a bit slower here, likely because the operator is still getting comfortable with how it handles. A direct hit right on the controls. Pretty impressive accuracy for something that was supposedly an accident. Modern harvesting in Thuringia depends on machines like the John Deere 1270D harvester. Matched with a Logmax 6000 head, it's built for heavy timber. Gripping, felling, delimiting, and bucking an entire tree in a single cycle. Watching that level of efficiency in action is genuinely mind-blowing. It took me a good 3 replays before I finally understood what was happening.
You only wanted to cause chaos in a certain that's one.
That's definitely one way to unload without a forklift. It's rough on the chassis, but you can't argue with the results. That log is far past what the loader can comfortably handle. At that point, gravity was always going to take control. The creativity is obvious. But that wooden frame is flexing far too much. It's a clever DIY solution, sure, but it can't match the safety or precision of a modern metal mill. The Euro 557 is a pure off-road monster. On a firewood run, it looks like nothing on Earth is capable of slowing it down.